a secret or anything, I want to grow a YouTube channel. That makes sense, right, doesn't it? Oh, we actually have a Kerbal. Well, well, well. What a cute little Kerbal you are. I mean, just in comparison, half of the rocket is the fairing, and the other half is just this booster. Looks kind of funny, if you ask me. Now let's try and do a really good gravity turn, or at least try, until I stop paying attention and mess it up like 50% of the time I'm trying to do it right, and the other 50% I just screw it up from the beginning. Well, seems okay-ish. Almost a bit too early, frankly speaking. So let's keep it here at these 55-degree mark for a couple of kilometers in altitude, a couple of kilometers in altitude. So now the velocity vector dropped down to 50. We're at 11, that's okay. Now the velocity marker will drop down to 45, and actually give me this one. No need for Google Engineer Redux, thanks to that small window here, even though I have been thinking about installing some more mods, well, actually visual mods and Kerbal Space Program Redux, since Redux is a good thing to have. Really useful information you usually see, but didn't really bother so far doing any of that. Seems like a really good approach. Now just keeping down a bit, actually a bit too steep again. I was too reluctant just dropping the nose at the very beginning of it. So we're now already at the outpost of 76 kilometers. So I'm going to cut the engines here and just coast up. Waiting until we hit the 70 kilometer mark. And actually let's just, well, we're still in the atmosphere, well, last bit of atmosphere, ditch the fairing. There we have it, our base. And freeze. Going up to your apopsis, there we are, and throttling up, so definitely don't have enough fuel for in this stage, but that was never actually intended. A good suborbital trajectory, that was the goal of this stage, and it totally achieved its goal. So lighting up the Rhino engine and onto circularization. What's actually your thrust weight ratio? Almost 2, wow. So well, that's definitely a lot of thrust. The payload is not that heavy, but it's so wide in this plane here, so we needed a 5 meter fairing, so going with 5 meter parts made it not look completely ridiculous, and having a fairing really makes it look a tiny bit realistic, and that's good. So 60 kilometers. Let's just try to circularize it in a more. Now we're still 13 kilometers up. Ah, that's too early. We have a 60-to-1 thrust weight ratio. So 60-to-1 at 6 kilometers makes more sense, right? Well, that's just some arbitrary number actually. So now we are in a suborbital trajectory. Brilliant. Got 70 meters per second of fuel left. Don't need it anyway, so going to detach that stage and ignite the next one. Okay, now you have, thanks to this SAS wheel, good amount of control, so let's just fire up a bit. Just clear the debris. Somewhere in the middle is probably the best spot to land in. So that's pretty. Can't even zoom in further, that's a shame. But yeah, that's, I think, good enough landing. Actually, let's just try getting it a bit weird, flying that thing this way. A bit more to the north. Yeah, that's supposed to be good. Now I can just go retrograde and we'll just coast down. The other engine stage crashed, brilliant, leaving no debris. Speaking of no debris, we're getting really close. So we're going to slow down a bit. And ditch this. Now you can deploy the landing legs. Perfect, coming in for landing. Give me a quick save. Let's hope that this contraption actually blows up. We're falling at the 10 meters, 12 meters per second, and it's fast. That's good. And we have no connection to the KSC, even though we've got an antenna. That's interesting. In a negative way, of course. Give us RCS for more control. Good. Fuel levels are looking brilliant. Okay, so let's throttle up a bit. And it does not look like this thing is going to die completely. That was a hard landing. Give me radially out. But 12 meters was enough for the landing gear. There we go. Brilliant, perfect. Successful landing. Time to extend our solar panels. And deploy our drills. And come on. What do you mean with there's no ground contact? You gotta be bloody kidding me. Oh, there we go. Start surface harvest. I should have just paid no attention to that kind of thing. Okay, brilliant. We've landed this thing. That's awesome. Next up, onto the Space Center. There you go. Okay, so everything's good. Starting up the engines and let's go to the moon. Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars. Brilliant. And the lights are really bright in that rover there that we've used for Sister Planets. Speaking of Sister Planets, I hope you've seen Sister Planets. That's a really nice, slightly cinematic series I've been doing. Well, actually it is completed. The last episode aired. Well, aired. I'm not sure you should actually call it aired, but came out yesterday. No, not yesterday. Wait, today is Tuesday. Kind of got the feeling that today's Monday. No, on Sunday. So on Sunday came out the latest and last episode of Sister Planets, and with that, the series is completed. There is one more video to the series coming out, and that's just the entire movie. You can call it together in one part, kind of 27 minutes or something. Everything together in one video. But apart from that, Sister Planet is actually finished, and I really hope you've enjoyed it. At least a quarter of the amount of, or quarter of the amount of, well, if you can quantify proud, because how proud I am of it. So this is, or was, a very, I don't really want to say tedious, but it took me a very long, quite a substantial amount of time to make this series, and I really hope you appreciate it, since, well, frankly speaking, the amount of views on it are just meh, if I say so. So, like, meh in terms of it's good-ish. Let's quickly check it up while we're flying here. So we are past Mark 1. We have such a humongous thrust weight ratio, don't have to worry about anything else. So I'm going to fly up right now till 10, 12, 13-ish kilometers, and then I'm going to go just straight. So the latest episode only has 23 views, but that's a huge shame and bummer in my opinion. The first episode, however, has 52 views, and that's something I more or less agree upon. I mean, we have only 140 subscribers, and of those, probably half of them are inactive. Like, at best, only half of them are inactive. So I don't really think that. I think like a quarter of the people subscribed to me are watching my things. And that would be good. Kind of glad. Would actually more or less correspond with my 20 to 30 views per video. That's approximately a quarter. So, and like I said, the very first episode got 50 views, and that's like a third of the entire, just under over a third of the total amount of subscribers, and I think that's a good ratio. I mean, that would be really awesome. What would? It is really awesome that we have that many views on the first Disciplined episode, and then it just constantly gets lower and lower. Like the second episode has 47, the next one has 34, and the latest and last one has 23. So yeah. Opa, wrong button, sorry. Actually, you didn't even see that. Anyways, you can actually throttle up. I totally forgot that we were not at 100% throttle. So now just trying and accelerating a bit more before switching. Give me actually this one, I really like that. 25 kilometers, that's not a lot. Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars with a nuclear engine burning. Na, 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 na. Let's pitch up a bit. And what's the thrust on these ones? 15, 18. Let's still keep them going in actually air breathing mode. And 3, 2, 1. Show me this place, and closed cycle. You have 500 units of oxidizer, that's not a lot. Goal right now is to increase our apex up to 45-ish degrees on this 25 degree 45 kilometers on this 15-20-ish kilometer degree climb, and there we go, and now we go down again. Now just prograde until we almost run out of fuel. 50 units left, so I'm going to cut the rapies, and everything else will be done with the nuclear engine. Gonna keep the small amount of oxidizer for the liftoff. And there we go. Got 4,000 units of delta meters per second of delta V. That's good. That's a very good amount actually. And we have docking capabilities. So brilliant. Flying towards the base. Beautiful curb and rise there. I'd like to have some surface velocity actually. How things looking on this department? Brilliant. There we have the marker, 100 kilometers out, and just to this side, actually 30 kilometers out. And we should turn around. No, that's no. We were burning right. Oh, in terms of towards the right, yes, but we're gonna change our trajectory to the base. That's why we're burning that way. That seems good. Now you can retrograde and time accelerate. Give me actually press the brakes, deploy the landing gear, press F5 for quick save, and press F for pay respect. To pay respect. And now you just need the physical time warp. This is way too fast, or too well, we're too low for regular time warp and too fast to just do it without time warp. And 6 kilometers. I think it's time to burn 2. That seems pretty reasonable actually. This timing. 30 meters per second. Give me no time warp, please. Going to do touchdown in this orientation. Going to land approximate kilometer out. Or will we? So coming in just under 10 meters per second. 5 meters, well 2 meters, and now you can now it's actually too early, or was it? Boink. There we go. No, don't, I just wanted to get rid of the brakes so it could just be like throttling up. And now rolling on the surface of Minmus around. Usually I don't really like to go more than 2 times regular time warp on the surface of things. 3 seems just manageable, so that's why I'm definitely not going to go for a 4th time. So let's see. Opening up the shield here. Brakes. Setting this thing as target and overshooting. What a surprise. Getting rid of the brakes, getting some more small thrust. So now do you have to turn around? I can see we'll have to fiddle around with it a bit to dock. But funny, the entire SSTO is actually almost as big, if not bigger, than the base itself. There we go. Actually, it's very good that we have steerable landing, otherwise it would be such a humongous pain. Okay, good. 2 meters per second, and we seem to be turning pretty... Whoa, 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 no. There you go. I was just more or less eyeballing it, and I mean more or less eyeballing it seems to be just perfect. Wait, did we just dock? No, we didn't. Oh, it's just a small lag there. That's why I'm asking. Give me aim camera, please. I would love to have some sort of pack reverse gear. Boink. Okay, let's go again. Boink. Oh, okay, boink. Like just burning your thrusters is good enough. And with that, we have docked our SSTO to the Minmus base. And there's some debris lying there. So what can we do to celebrate this apart from taking Pepe Kermit and the hatch obstructed can exit? What a shame. Can you exit at least? Exit. If I should want to get really close without you don't see the entire base, that's a kind of a shame. If you were to move like that, maybe. let's do one screenshot like this, and I'm gonna go with one like that from this perspective here, so you can see everything. So that was actually our pilot. So our pilot should, frankly speaking, go back into the SSTO, otherwise we don't have a means of bringing it back, right?